Just hit full name, James, instead of last first.
Are we live?
Yes.
Testing. Just in time. It's Tuesday night. The GT4 series is at Laguna Seca. We're going green with Travis Rowe. Laguna Seca. Here we go. Let's go racing. Newcomer Travis Hill, Brian Cox, and Josh Bloom. Josh Bloom is last week's winner as they come around Andretti hairpin. Look at Justin Thaler coming out of turn one, right side by side with Michael Odell for the top five. Brian Coxon inside Josh Bloom for now. They got one more right. I'm James J. I'm here with Adam Sondag and Aaron Holroyd. Aaron, how you doing tonight, man? What are you going to see?
We're going to see lots of great action tonight. We got a whole field of cars tonight. I'm not currently sure how many because it's mixed up a little bit, but we got plenty of drivers, a full field, and a nice dry track for these guys tonight.
Looks like they're going three wide into the kink. Justin Thaler inside Josh Bloom all the way up to P3. That is not a place you normally go three wide through. There's Brian Coxon, Josh Bloom, and Justin Thaler. Michael Odell right behind in the Aston Martin. A little bit rushed tonight. Aaron, I'm going to count on you to help talk me around this track at Laguna Seca. Remember, all lap one incidents will be reviewed hard, so I expect to see some clean racing. Here's John Daniels making a move just in front of Steve Hansel. Tucked back in as they go single file coming out. But Aaron, how well do you know Laguna Seca?
Laguna Seca is from Monterey, California, one of my home state at least. Been to Monterey a few times back with my job, so haven't gotten to go to this track. I did go to the what's the other one in California? I forget his name. Sonoma, that's right, Sonoma County, up in Napa County. So yeah, these guys have a nice track tonight. You got 11 turns total, and they have what's considered to be one of the hardest turns of all is the corkscrew when they have a 56 foot drop in elevation. So one of the hardest turns for for any motorsport in the world, and these guys are going to be driving it tonight for a whole hour.
60-minute race. We expect to see one pit stop, usually about the halfway mark. Some guys up front might go as long as they can till they get all the way empty, depending on how competitive they feel they are. But right now, Travis Rowe, your pole sitter, see if we go back up front with him, is still stretching it out to 0.7 of a second of a lead. There's Brian Cox and Justin Thaler holding on to third. Josh Bloom in fifth. Max Brandwall, who had a really good run last week at Silverstone in the Aston Martin white, black, orange car that we're riding with now.
I expect to see Brian Coxon feeling pretty good tonight. He's had plenty of seat time in the rig this weekend with doing the Bathurst 1000 with myself and one of our other drivers. So he had a big load he carried out. He did 187 laps compared to the rest of us. Our teammate's computer was having problems afterwards, so he did 187. I did 85, and he's had plenty of time in the seat, so he's warmed up and ready to go. These little tiny cars can have a little better braking, a little less power, so look for him to make a good move tonight, as I believe he might have had a crash on the track now. I see three guys getting red flagged back in the field. It looks like Sean Cunningham, Gerard Rupert, and John Ashlin might have had an incident. Those guys are falling well off in the pace now. John might have gotten to be the lucky dog out of it, got just barely the end of it.
Oh, you're right. Somebody had a bad day. That's coming up to Andretti hairpin, the very first turn. Oh, and you got a little help from behind.
That was a 5 car of Ismail Ublau. not hitting his braking turn right, and for turn 1 in the Andretti hairpin. Got a lot of carrying a lot of speed down that downhill, and he goes into a continuous downhill of a left-hand turn. So, not able to get that car slowed down enough. As you see him trying, downshifting to avoid what he can, but just tags the back of Aslan. Sends the Napa car off track. We'll see what the damage is like for the number 5 car. That was pretty heavy contact for the nose.
It's a rough way to start. There's still 55 minutes to go, so hopefully he'll get some of that back. But definitely a tough break. I'm sure it wasn't intentional, just one of those things where your foot's all the way down on the pedal as hard as you can. You're standing on the brakes, and the car just won't load down. So riding with Taylor Montague in P10, and he's looking up at Stephen Halligan and Justin Schupp in the AMG Mercedes. We got another BMW driver here, Stephen Halligan. Welcome to Midwest Motorsports, Stephen. We're glad you're here. They come through my favorite section, everybody's favorite section of the track, the corkscrew.
That's a total of 3 BMWs we have now. Here we go. 3 BMWs are in the fight with McLaren for 3 other McLarens. We are a heavy Mercedes field this season. We got a lot of Mercedes out to go and give a count. Get back to you on that.
It's a beautiful sunny afternoon. No, just a couple of clouds in the sky, but looks like they do have the iRacing update with the fresh tarmac. I think they resurfaced it 2 years ago for right before the season started. There's lots of room off track, left and right of the curbs. There are some orange sausage curbs, the turtles that Stephen Halligan just ran over there once. So there's another one here that can easily send you off into the loose sand on either side of the asphalt. So I expect to see some guys, especially later in the race as tire wear becomes a factor, really having to push their tires, and we might see lots of sand and dust being pushed on the track. Here's the kink before they come uphill. Once again, Taylor Montague giving us a lap around Laguna Seca. A couple little flat out curves here, and then the corkscrew blind apex left. The road just falls away. Car gets really light, especially on the rear. Traction gets light. Used all the banking to help you through the rainy curve, as well as this final right-hander turn 10 down to the pit entrance. I think during the pit stop cycle, we're going to see some. It's a very tricky pit entry, especially with the 90-degree turn at the end before the pit lane speed limiter starts. So everybody's going to want to try to get all they can as they come through pit entry, as well as the pit exit that we're going through now. You have to stay all the way through the exit of Andretti before you can rejoin the track, and then a dangerous rejoin right in the crossover point for the guys that stayed on the track. So I think we're going to see a possibility, the potential for some pit lane shenanigans, as once again we see guys going off track. I'm not sure if they're getting off tracks, but they're at least kicking the sand up as we ride now with Ty Williams, who has had one heck of a week. Aaron, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the other Midwest Motorsports leagues, but the same name has been on the top of all 4 Midwest Motorsports series, and that name is Albert Ty Williams.
That's right. I had the pleasure of interviewing Ty after his win on Sunday in the Cup Series. He got a late race victory, coming from behind with like 10 laps to go, and made the move on Dustin Ransdell with some fresher tires. So Williams looking to keep his current streak going. He's got Kula in front of him in the same category, and then Justin Glickner, who's currently sitting 7th overall, but he won for the amateurs. So he's got a couple of spots to make up. One thing I noticed too, Joshua Bloom, I'm not sure what happened to him. He's dropped 11 spots total, so he was up in the the neck of the things early on. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on with him and how he got to where he's at. That's last week's race winner. We got another off track with him. That's an Aston Martin there. That would be Rick Burden, Rick Bundren, I believe. Might have got the corkscrew wrong. It can be a tricky thing to come up with this corkscrew. You have to put a blind faith and trust into hoping that there's nobody on the other side. And you're going to see him take a little bit of the curb on the right hand side, and just it's hard to get on the brakes there because you're losing traction with those curbs. So he's going to try to get on the brakes. It's going to start to initiate the slide. And at that point, you're kind of just hanging on because you are going to go around.
Yep, he's all the way out. He missed the apex by about 10 feet. He's got the flying lizard decals, the paint. I have a huge affection for any flying lizard fan. So, Rick Bundren, you get bonus points for the cool paint today. But easy to do. The car gets real light coming over that crest. And if you wait to the last minute trying to get it all coming up the hill, hard on the brakes, and you miss your apex, the rear end just comes around. Easy to swap ends. It's not the last guy we're going to see. Just in front here, it looks like Ublal and Smorl in the white Porsche. As Ublal going deep again. No contact this time.
You see what I'm saying? That name tag there, James? We got a driver in Japan right now racing with us.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 countries representing in our series. And I came back earlier. I did go ahead and do some counting. We have 17 Mercedes in this season. By far the most we have. Next to them, we got Porsches, and they range between, I believe, 9 Porsches. So, yeah, hefty Mercedes field. These guys having a heck of a time tonight. There's Josh Bloom sitting in 13th overall for the Pro, but that is well down. See. That is 23rd. Make that 22nd. Maybe another one as we see a couple more cars going around there. That was Brandon Thayer, one of our oval contestants. He had a hard time with the dipper. Don't expect to be the first or the last time.
The dipper? That's Bathurst, right?
Oh, they call it the dipper here.
Which one?
That's the. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the corkscrew.
The corkscrew. There you go.
Yeah, my bad.
You scared me.
I got done running. I just ran 12 hours about this. My bad. Oh no! It looks like John Ashton's retired from the race after the early incident in the Napa Porsche. So no more number 9 car. It's gonna lessen the field by 1, but no issues here. We keep racing. Taking a good look at Michael Odell. Odell's back out here racing with us. Let's see, last week, Odell took 2nd place to Josh Bloom. So with Josh Bloom's early incidents now, Odell's going to be getting a significant amount of points on him, sitting P4 overall to Joshua Bloom's 13. Odell rocking the Odell Motorsports livery that he asked me to make for him. I believe he might be the sole Odell in the race tonight. I did not see Robert Odell this week. Hold it down with the black and gold Aston Martins. We got Rick Bundren in front of him again. In the what would you call it? The Flying Lizard. Go. Just in front of Michael Dale, that's Justin Taylor. He's looking to have a better night tonight. Last week finishing 12th overall. So good to see you out there, Justin, making the Porsche look good, representing Midwest Motorsports as one of the co-owners. He knows how to take the dip. That was a nice tight line, both sides of the corkscrew. Got a good drive out of there. Now he's got the young buck. Mike Odell is going to be breathing down his neck for a little bit. Just barely half a second behind him. You see the different lines these guys can take. Porsche's really able to hold the exit a little bit easier and more tighter than the Aston can. Aston's a little bit wider, a little bit longer, a little bit heavier than the Porsches are. But with that Aston Martin, you do get more engine power, so they're able to carry more power than the Porsches can. So they carry the speed out and they take almost all the track that they can possibly take, or the Porsches can be a little bit more nimble and hold the lines tighter. You'll see different lines these guys get to take. Come on, join in on the racing fun. There you go, right there, midwest-motorsports.com. There's a QR code. You scan that with your phone. Come join the series. We have an abundant amount of racers now, so then we take places people of all different series. We got some C-class drivers, B-class, A-class. We even got a couple of D-class drives. So it's just an open series for everybody to come enjoy, get some track time. You get a whole hour of competitive racing with people who are not going to use an online service. You're not going to lose any rating here. You're just going to gain track time in a safe manner and be in a competitive racing series. So scan the QR code now, midwest-motorsports.com. Sign up and join today. We'll see you guys here next Tuesday. Speaking next Tuesday, we go to Road Atlanta full course. That's going to be our endurance race. That's an hour and 40-minute enduro race.
Let's go.
That's right. Our first big endurance race of the series goes to Road Atlanta. We've got 3 of them this season. We got the Grand Prix Nuremberg, and then we have the Mount Panorama, which, shoot, maybe I can come in here and take a fun little race with these guys. I love that track, and I got used to the BMW, but I did drive the GT3, so it's going to be a lot more different than the GT4. So,
we got somebody spinning. Who was that? The Milwaukee? Was that Steve Hansel?
That's Steve Hansel.
Oh, looks like he just had a traction moment.
Oh, that was coming out of the Andretti hairpin, so he might have been doing this. Oh, maybe not.
Yep, that was his final rejoin. He finally gathered it up and lost some positions. Looks like John Daniels got by. Number 4 car in front of him got by. It's all good. He's made it back on track now. Steve's got it pointing in the right direction and takes the sausage curb and off into the gravel again before going up the hill, still trying to catch his breath before getting it back. And don't make it worse, Steve. Just gather it up. If you're the crew chief, Aaron, if you're the crew chief on the pit box and your driver just spun out and lost 4 spots and he's beating himself up, what do you tell him? How do you get him back down to earth and tell him how much racing there is left?
Oh man, just take his mind off it. I'd be sitting there, I'd give him some old dad jokes, like the good old one of what happened. What do you call a fly without wings? Get his mind off it. You say, oh, you just called a walk by then.
You just call it walk. There you go.
Fly with no wings, called a walk. So there you go, and just get his mind off it. Get him back to say, hey, take a breather. Get back into it. You're a driver. You know how to race this car.
Yeah.
Don't lose it again and catch back up to these guys. You started in front of them. You can pass them again.
There you go. Ooh, look at this. Michael Odell had an amazing season last season from the AM division. Now a pro. He has a manufacturer change. Went from the Porsche to the Aston Martin. And he is chasing one of the founders of Midwest Motorsports as McLaren pulls over to the left and lets him go. Thank you very much. Here it is, coming up the hill, going too wide. Justin Thaler in the Porsche with the yellow wheels takes it very defensive. He's going to have to stop early. Plenty of room left by Michael Odell. Thaler leaves Odell room. They're going too wide through the corkscrew. Now too wide through Rainey, the hard left. And no change of position. But Michael Odell definitely door to door with one of the founders of Midwest Motorsports is now into turn 11. He outbrakes him. Does he outbrake himself? Michael Odell goes deep. Justin Thaler tries to crossover. Odell parks it on the apex. Justin Taylor gets him a little nudge, and now he's vulnerable to Max Brandval. Looks like Justin Taylor tried to pinch him real close. Max Brandval coming across the line side by side now with Justin Taylor into Andretti, and they go too wide through this. Justin Taylor goes too wide through 80% of that previous lap. That is Midwest Motorsports GT4 racing.
He's probably gripping that steering wheel a little extra tighter. He's got Aston Martin's coming up behind him. He's got a little bit of a beat up front end of it. Not sure how he sustained the damage earlier. We got Steve Hansel. He's in the pits now. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Steve. Maybe he's tired of those tires already, no pun intended. Looks like he's going to be getting rid of the fronts as the car lifts for the front end. Might have some slight damage here. I don't know if that's just the paint job.
Earlier spin. Yeah.
You know what that paint job reminds me of?
Tell me.
Reminds me of the Toyota Camrys. Look at that hammerhead look in the front.
It does.
The NASCAR
Very
Camrys?
similar. They're very similar. That's the Aston Martin vent down there. But yeah, good for Steve to get new tires. I think after that, that might have been his fast repair, but I don't know if he can go 40 minutes on the tank. Possibly. We'll see when the last person that comes in to stop, what time that guy comes in, and that will tell us if Steve can go to the end from here or if he's going to need a splash. Hits the pit lane limiter, and back on track. Hopefully this crew got him some water and a couple of Advils, maybe a couple of chill pills, and back on track. So if you notice on the timing tower, the blue designation are the pro drivers. The red designations are the AM drivers. They're all on their same points schedule, but they get whatever place they finish. And we're blessed with 33 drivers today. So thank you to all the GT4 drivers. 33 of you came out to race tonight, as we're riding now with David Wortman, also with a manufacturer change to the Sim Magic Aston Martin. David Wortman's come a long way in the last couple of years. Here we go again, 3 wide. Josh Bloom, Albert Williams, and Ian Bakaitis, I believe. Ian Bakaitis in the 60. Albert Williams in the middle. Josh Bloom behind. So Ian Bakaitis in the AMG. Sponsor change, but still same car. Josh Bloom looking racy after earlier shenanigans. Still working his way back up through the amateur guys, but these amateur guys now are still going for position. So no incentive, no reason to pull over, even if you're not in the same division. Each position carries more points no matter what class you're in.
Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, that was a change from last season, correct?
Correct. That is a change from last season. The guys have voted. You do a poll every year thanks to the lap car that's pulled over, the Flying Lizard car. Letting these guys go by. Great sportsmanship here in the Midwest Motorsports.
All right, James, educate me. What's the Flying Lizard?
So the Flying Lizard is a team or a sponsor, a group, like a performance race team. And
Okay.
they participated in IMSA, mostly Porsches in the 991 era all the way to the 996, but everything from Porsche Cup to, so you're still going 3 wide again. This is the AMG Mercedes Cup. Oh my goodness. Josh made it around Ian Bakaitis and Albert Williams in just those 2 turns that we were talking about. Flying Lizard definitely had some cool logos. Troy Lee designed a couple of paints. I'll post those later on the Road Series chat. But yeah,
Weren't they like red and silver?
Yes, red and silver.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I think I'm starting to remember them now. The Porsche team.
Yes, sir.
All right.
They've had some incredible battles right here at Laguna Seca with Corvettes. One year, they were banging doors down in Sebring at the end of a 12-hour event down in Sebring. Lots of fast drivers have come through the Flying Lizard Porsches.
Awesome.
You
Well,
can see
Albert
now
Williams.
Josh Bloom pulled away. Yep.
Albert Williams feeling better now. Ian Bakai's got around him earlier, so Albert Williams said, no, I need that spot back. And once Bloom made the move around both of them, Albert went ahead and followed it along with him. So Albert's still sitting third, looking to gain a couple more spots to get in front of Niles Kula and Justin Glickner. He's got about 3 cars in front of him that he's going to catch up to get second overall for the amateurs. But I think I do like this point thing more. It gives everybody an incentive to, like, hey, I don't think if they're going to get blue flags anymore, so that's a good news, unless you're getting actually lapped. But it's not now you can race for the position just because they're a pro. If you want to be a pro, then you got to pass me like a pro.
That's right.
There's more. That's a lot better than look at this Aston Martin field we have today. Holy cow. I'm sorry, not Aston Martin. That's a Mercedes.
These guys are Mercedes.
Yeah.
It's all right. They look kind of similar. I'm trying. Yeah, the Mercedes had a great run last season, although the champion was the Aston Martin. There's pros and cons to each. I believe the Aston seems to handle a little better, depending on who you ask. But all of these Mercedes seem to have a gear ratio, especially on the lower gears, that some of the drivers tend to like. It might hurt them a little bit. There's the pit entry. We got somebody coming in.
That's Dustin.
It seems like the guys like to have the different gear ratios down low. It may hurt them coming out of the pits, but it helps control some of those low traction moments coming out of fast corners with all the RPM, all the horsepower under their right foot. The gear ratio can almost act as like a traction controller or limited slip. Not really, it's just being overgeared. With the fixed setup class, depends on who you ask, and that's why you have the option. It seems like iRacing has done a really good job with the balance of performance. I haven't really seen one car. It really just comes down to personal preference. We'll see how the race plays out as the season plays out, especially over the endurance races. I'm curious to see next week at Road Atlanta if there's a fuel advantage to any of them, if anybody's going to try to do a 1 hour 40 minute with just one stop.
Good luck. 1 hour and 40 minutes. I mean, these guys can't. It depends on what the fixed setting's going to be, I guess.
Here's Francis Faustino, as that was Dustin Reinstedel that came into pit, and he's back to the FedEx. But here we are with Francis Faustino, who I want to give Francis a shout out. We had him ready to do a little interview before the race. We had some technical glitch coming to the green, but wanted to give Francis a little shout out. We'll come back with him. Maybe we'll catch him next time. Same with Josh Bloom. Maybe we'll be able to talk to the drivers a little better next week. Thanks to everybody for bearing with us as we're going through some teething pains with the broadcast, and we're going to continue to bring you the best broadcast we can, and they are going to continue to get better. I'm glad to be here with you, Aaron. It's been a lot of fun so far, and it's just going to continue, man. We're happy to have 2 commentators and camera guys, Josh Bloom working race control and the broadcast streaming. So a lot of guys volunteering their time, man. We're happy to have everybody's contribution, man. Thanks.
Yeah, well, that would be Joshua Watt watching it or doing the race broadcasting. There you go. We got a do for Dale out there. Yeah, that's Jason Phillips rocking the Goodwrench paint job.
I'm all about it.
There you go. He's trying to fight hard with Mike O'Dell just in front of him. Justin Taylor has been able to hold him off. Justin Taylor got back by him, actually, because that was wasn't 1.0 O'Dell in front of him? Well, he was putting the noses in at least, so that kind of brought in Jason Phillips right behind him. So Phillips having a good run. Last week, I believe, let's see where he was at. Jason Phillips got P4 overall, so right now, running in P6, Travis Rowe still holding out his 2.5, almost 3 second lead now over the field in a Porsche, with Brian Cox and McLaren behind him, both running very similar lap times. Best lap time for Travis Rowe's at 1:28.55 compared to Brian Cox's 1:28.8. But the man on the move is Joshua Bloom with the 1:28.3, so he's been putting in some lap of pace as he's currently sitting back there in P11.
Is
Yeah,
Jason Phillips? It looks like Michael Odell did get around Justin Taylor. Justin Taylor stayed in front for a while, but he got him this time. They might be going back and forth. And behind him, Jason Phillips is looking really aggressive. So this is a great three-way battle here as they come towards the end of the lap. Coming overhead, and the drone looking awesome.
speaking of overhead drone, do you see the new video came out today on with the Red Bull F1 team?
No, tell me about it.
Yeah, they had the world's fastest drone flying, trying to keep up with the new RB, I believe it's 14,
Right?
the new Red Bull F1 car, and Max Verstappen was racing a drone over the test one of the test tracks that they're doing testing at, and it's pretty cool footage they had in the rain. You got to see the real works of the aero package that they have with the Red Bulls, who have as of recent been the dominant performance outside of Mercedes. So nice little clip to get everybody excited. We have the first series race coming up this weekend. Gonna be interesting to see the new drivers, new liveries out there. Not new drivers, a couple new drivers, but most of the new liveries. And I tell you what, I have more excitement watching these guys. You got a little personal feeling with these guys. Justin Glickner rocking his Porsche. It's in P8 now.
It looks like David Stark went off track just a little bit, but as Michael Odell gets the corkscrew wrong again, this is going to give Justin Taylor an opportunity. And Rainey, great camera shots here as Jason Phillips ready to pick up any scraps left behind with these guys.
So Odell made the move somewhere and then overshot the brakes. Maybe he made the move going into that corkscrew, and that's what would lead him to overshoot it.
Back and forth battles up and down the field. We're past the halfway mark, so quite a few guys are left yet to pit. No change up front. This is the best battle on the track. You can see all the relatives on the screen. Justin Taylor, P4 right now. Michael Odell, P5. Jason Phillips, P6. None of these guys have pitted. So you do the undercut or the overcut. Justin Taylor is first. You're going to do what Justin does or do the opposite of what Justin does as Michael Odell hits the sausage curve, goes wide on the kink, and Jason Phillips says, "I'll take that. Thank you very much."
Commentator's curse did the opposite.
Yeah. And kablamo, that sausage curve sends him way off right. It's easy to miss. It's hard. You don't see the sausage curve until you're already on top of it. As Michael Odell still coming to grips with that Aston Martin. Once again, a little different from the Porsche. And Laguna Seca is different from Silverstone, is different from the street circuits. So we do natural terrain courses, street circuits, relatively new, fresh repaves. It definitely could have been a lot worse. I agree, Adam. Could have been a lot worse. Michael Odell actually got away with a couple there. I'm sure he's not the only one to go off there, but
you rewind back a couple of seasons in iRacing, you might not have been so lucky back in the day. I remember the sand being really the opposite of what it is now. It used to just slide you over. It was almost like skating on ice, and he would have gone out into the wall before. But now they've done a much better job of getting the sand and actually slowing you down and keeping you going in the direction you're pointing. So shout out to iRacing, their updates. I know we got a new season coming up next week, and everybody's getting pretty excited for it. Travis Rowe, I know he's excited. He's been the leader from the drop of the flag on. Extends his lead to 3.5 seconds now over Brian Coxon, who is 8 seconds over Max Brandwall. So the battle behind Max with Taylor and Phillips has let Max Brandwall get away a little bit more with these guys back behind him swapping places. And Travis Rowe just taking him by the breeze, running up there. He's got a couple drivers in front of him. Got David Stark here
on Michael Odell with
That's
Justin Glickner, the first of the amateur drivers. We see some guys pitting, Justin Taylor, Jason Phillips, both coming into pit. But here's David Stark looking aggressive on Michael Odell as they go across the line. Side by side, David Stark. Remember, Michael Odell probably still has sand on his tires, has to take a defensive line. David Stark goes late on the brakes. Let's see if he crosses over, if Michael Odell positions his car in just the right place. Maybe throws some sand up on David Stark behind. As we also have Justin Glickner and Jesse Coffey behind Michael Odell. So Michael Odell not going the direction he wants to go. He wants to go up now, of course. He is in fourth. We're talking about fourth, fifth, and sixth. So this is the front of the field after the top three. And remember, we've had a couple of guys coming into the pit this lap, so this is the overcut. Let's see where Michael Odell comes out in relation to Justin Thaler and Jason Phillips. As we go around lap car, once again, thanks to all the Midwest Motorsports drivers that are new. We see you. We appreciate every one of you. It looks like it's been a relatively clean race. A couple of little minor fender benders, but most racing deals. Here's Jason Phillips making his way back. 3 seconds behind Justin Thaler. As Thaler is up with Montague. Maybe Montague hadn't pitted. All right. There's Glickner in the pits. That means we're just waiting for Travis Rowe and Brian Cox and David Stark to pit. And they're still staying out. So 22 minutes. That's 38. That's almost enough for Steve Hansel to make it without stopping again. I still think Steve Hansel's going to need a splash. He's going to need a 43-minute run, which means 18 minutes. Bloom is in, last week's winner and your current points leader before the race, and Michael Odell comes out. Behind David Stark. David Stark hasn't pitted. Maybe that's what I'm seeing. Michael Odell right behind Justin Thaler. Not too far. Michael Odell is still in this. Here's your leader. Top two are in the pits now. So unless they had 3 more laps, Steve Hansel's going to have to come in for a splash. Unless he was really saving aggressively. But this is the race for the lead. David Stark finally comes in. Travis Rowe should get out, and Brian Coxon should get out. The question is who's third, fourth, and fifth. Currently, Jesse Coffey in the BMW, working his way through, giving Steve Hansel a chance to maybe dream about going 40 plus minutes on a tank. Travis Rowe comes out. Brian Coxon comes out, and he is only 3 seconds back. Not too bad. Thought he was working close to 6 seconds. Maybe Brian Coxon only took 2. Pretty cool paint job on Travis Rowe. Number 76 Porsche, your pole sitter, and so far it's led flag to flag up to the pit stop. Here's David Stark putting pressure on Justin Thaler for 5th. David Stark in the 59. Definitely earned the right to be there. Welcome to Midwest Motorsports. You have Michael Odell right behind you. Porsche's battling it out through the corkscrew. Great racing line from Justin Thaler, though. It's going to be hard to beat that line. That was the perfect line.
Francis Faustino having an incident. Not sure what happened with him. He dropped back a couple of positions now.
David Stark into Andretti, looking really aggressive late on the brakes. The white Porsche, the white New Balance Porsche. Sure, he's got some dad jokes for you, Aaron. You got some
I'm sure he does.
Convene in between the race days.
Oh, see, Stark being on the brakes a little bit later there with that power of the Porsche, able to lock it down much tighter. So right now, Odell is now sitting in the middle of a Porsche sandwich. Both these Porsches can brake really late, and Odell's got to get the brakes a lot sooner with that heavier car.
A little heavier, that's right. So here he is. That's why he missed his apex a couple of times, but it's not made any contact. So nice and controlled. Great view from the roof of David Stark's Porsche, looking up at this battle and the beautiful track. But don't look now. He's got Jason Phillips right behind him, followed by Jesse Coffey, and Justin Glickner's there as well.
So now that pits have finished off, that put Steve Hansel in 13th overall, giving him 11th in class. So we'll see if he's able to hold on for the rest of his 18 minutes and about 30 seconds left to go. Maybe another lap after that. So it's going to be a good test to him. And as Odell getting it really wide there, leaves the door open for Stark, but unluckily for Odell, he's on the inside. Get the power down, take a tight line here. What does not want to leave that door open. Those Porsches are more nimble. They can take the turns a little bit tighter than these big guys can. So you'll see a difference of lines here coming out. One car will go wider than the other. David Stark hounding Michael Odell. We got a nice 6-car battle here. If you look at this, look at the timing tower. You got 6 cars within 3 seconds of each other. That's
David
Justin
Stark
Glickner.
this time missing his breaking point. But you're right. This is Midwest Motorsports, like you said, Aaron.
That's right. That's Glickner, the amateur leader, catching up to these pros, putting the power down.
Into the corkscrew, single file out of the corkscrew. Michael Odell just seems 4 inches, 4 or 5, well, I should say 4 or 5 feet off of the apex that everybody else is running. Just pushing every single corner. It's got to be hurting his tires. Maybe his tires are feeling it, or if he's just not feeling as close as at one with the track surface as these Porsches around him seem to be. But then again, Jason Phillips in the AMG still there. David Stark. So it moved Jason Phillips up a spot as David Stark got it wrong before the corkscrew, and Jason Phillips gathered up some momentum, took his time around a couple of more corners, and picked his spot. David Stark's going to have to work to get around Jason Phillips. Just outside the top 5, Jason Phillips currently 6th in the black Goodrich AMG Mercedes. Justin Thaler, P4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 all together. Don't forget, this is the GT4 series that Midwest Motorsports runs on Tuesday nights. We also have 3 oval leagues. Friday night, the NASCAR Craftsman Trucks. Saturday, NASCAR Xfinity Series. Sunday, NASCAR Cup Series. www.midwest-motorsports.com, or you can scan the QR code, check out the rules for iRating and setups, etc., and decide which league you want to join, which day, which time works best for you. Registration is always open Very easy to do. www.midwest-motorsports.com. Oh, David Stark misses it there. Sorry, Aaron, I left you there. I had a little frog in my throat.
No, you're
But
fine.
move Jesse Coffee up a spot in the BMW as he gets around David Stark. And now he's vulnerable to Justin Glickner behind. Lots of racing.
Yeah, I had to take a double look. There's a car behind these guys in the porch. I thought at one point I thought it was the pace car coming out. I'm like, wait, is there a pace car coming out on the track? Whatever that Porsche is behind Glickner. I think it's one of the lap cars. I thought that was the safety car with the black front end and the white car with the red striping on it. You see it right there in the back. Made me do a double take. I thought we had the safety car coming out. But then I realized that we have a better safety car. I tell you what, Michael Adele has been on the bumper of Thaler the entirety of this race. He is not letting him go. He's making sure he's gonna. He wants P4. He's gonna earn his P4.
They have switched places several times.
Adele having to take a much wider entry coming in there. He's almost. I noticed the past couple laps he's been getting the right side rear on the dirt coming through that little bit of a right-handed kink before the corkscrew. So he's trying to take as much track as he can. As you've seen him a couple times here and coming off there, you've seen James Kofi did it in the back of them, or Jesse Kofi did it back of them, giving on the sand a little bit. Doesn't hurt the car too much. Actually will help straighten him out and keep them from sliding off more. Oh, I'm out of breath now. Go ahead.
All good. Hey, here's Andrew Willis. 40 years old. From Watertown, New York. First season in Midwest Motorsports. Just Andrew, he says. He's married. He's got a cat named Cadwell.
We get one of those rear chase cams to see what's on his hood. There we go. Look at that. Got a matching helmet to go with the car.
Nice
Bright
green
car.
logo. Its victory celebration we hope to see this year is to running out of fuel just before getting back to the pits. So he likes to work the strategy. You're not going to miss the green car. He's running off his desk in a G27 wheel and a tiny screen. His goals this season are to try to make it to as many races as he can and complete laps. Those are Andrew Willis's goals, and he is in the pro division. His favorite classes are the IMSA GTD and Lee Keene, who I know. I've shook his hand and got my picture with him. Very good Porsche driver. But IMSA fan, Andrew Willis is a Lee Keene fan. It's a good choice. Good to have Andrew Willis with us at Midwest Motorsports.
What did you say that guy's name was? Lee King?
Lee Keene, Lehkeen.
Oh, man. I can only imagine the names he had growing up.
Tongue twister commentators mispronouncing his name. Whoa, is behind him. Who is that? Is that Cal Guru?
Cal Guru in the Red Bull BMW.
Getting
I'm
it
very
crossed up a little
familiar
bit.
with that one. But I was pretty proud of that creation. I had some fun making it for him. It was pretty fun to do.
Okay, I see you, Aaron. That looks good, man.
At first, we tried to do like a little Zin's car for him. It was like a cream and like a light blue. Then he asked me for like a blackish one with gold. I'm like, okay, let's work with someone there. And he gave me a little couple inspirations. And I just see him come to the pit to get a nice little look of it. He's getting lapped now by Brian Coxon, still sitting second place overall. I know Brian Coxon's looking to get a new scheme here pretty soon.
All right. Cal Guru had a little incident on lap 1 last week, but took it like a champ, starting from pit lane. Looks like that might have been a drive-through, or just driving through himself to get out of the way.
Yeah, it was a pit lane start from first lap from the incident from round 1.
Yep.
That's
And he
one
just
where
was in the pits as well.
Yeah.
So he's got it back together. He served his penalty and he served his punishment. All is forgiven. Let's go back racing. Can anybody catch Travis Rowe? 3.2 seconds to Brian Coxon. You can see him there. Some more guys are pulling over.
I'm not sure they're pulling over or getting a little off track. That's a little section they can have problems with as Odell. This train just been going the entirety of this race. They even through the lap cars they're coming up to. These now we got 7 cars there. I know that's one of the lappers they came up to. So 7 cars in a row. This Cal Guru falls right in the middle of these guys. Add him to the list of the choo-choo train.
Michael Odell is just stalking the back of Justin Thaler. Justin Thaler's like, get off of me. It's like that piece of toilet tissue that's stuck to your shoe. You just can't shake it off. You won't go anywhere. From the state of Ohio, Justin Thaler, Michael Odell going wide, making sure he doesn't break into the rear bumper of the Porsche. Justin Thaler trying to get as good of a run as he can. And now he's going to provide a draft or a slipstream for Michael Odell. Thaler taking defensive again. Can Odell go too wide around Andretti hairpin? No, it's very hard, difficult to do that. Sometimes it works better to diamond it than try to take a wider radius. Make the straightaway longer as they get off on power. That's just really hard. Got sand on his front left sides. So you got sand on the left side there. Keeps his foot in it. Michael Odell keeps the steer inputs turned a little more just to make sure he avoids. But now they're going side by side up the bridge into the kink. Michael Odell has the position for now. We have the corkscrew. I think this is still the replay. I hope we can keep it here and watch this battle as Jason Phillips has lost the spot to these guys as well. Oh, nice line this time through the corkscrew as Michael Odell leads Justin Thaler through with coming up on 7 minutes to go. So we're looking at maybe 5 more laps for Justin Thaler to get that position back, or for Jason Phillips to get by him. And we have lap traffic up ahead. This is what it's like to be a Midwest Motorsports GT4 driver. Action up and down the field. Great static cam. Showing us the track, the surroundings, and the cars on track as now Justin is the aggressor, blinking, flashing, saying, I see you, buddy. On the stream, looking back at Justin Thaler, going through these 2 right-handers. Avoid the sausage curves. Looks like Jason caught one there. And now we're coming up to the high banking left. Yep. Sorry, what was that, Aaron?
I'm sure he's just saying, hey, buddy. Might have a couple other words in there.
Hey,
there's Cal Guru, I believe, in the background. He got off track on number 2. Look at this. Holy cow, this line of drivers right now. This is insane. These guys have to fight their way through. Those are all lap cars in front of Odell now. I thought that might have been Branville, but Branville's still 8 seconds in front of these guys. So these guys are now fighting.
Oh my God.
Taylor taking it 3 wide. It's not going to work. He gets a shot from Odell. Odell holds tight. That was just hard fighting. I mean, Odell was just holding his line, and Taylor was trying to close in on him. That did not work out for Taylor. It's going to put him back in position to try again. I wonder if we see any more flashing coming from behind. But Dan Gish, man, he chose the line to stay out of the way and let those guys get in there, and
Yeah,
took
mad respect.
the outside of the route. Just that's a slower line for him, but these guys are fighting for position as they have been all day. There's the 73. That's Justin Shoop staying out of the way. So good on you, Justin. And that's Brandon Thayer's further up than these guys.
Great, respectful driving out of all these GT4 guys. Want to make sure that there's 33 cars today. We can't get everybody on the stream, every stream, but we do see you and we appreciate every one of you. We'll try to get to you as much as we can, but we're enjoying this great battle as now Jason Phillips dials the aggression up with under 5 minutes to go. I don't know where to look. I do not envy Adam's position as Jason Phillips goes deep, full send into the corkscrew.
Yeah,
Taylor sees him.
Taylor got wide and got in the gravel there, so that slowed him down a big time. And you did not want to get the slowdown going uphill from
Right.
that gravel. So that did not help him at all. He's going to go a little bit wider again. He's going to be hounding the back of Phillips, just as he did with the Aston. Now he's going to be on the back of the Mercedes now. As you started seeing Odell slowly starting to put the gap between them, where he just had to make that move and use the extra horse that he has. Now Phillips runs a little bit wide, getting him to slow down. Luckily, he's got a little bit of a downhill before the uphill. This is gonna get hairy here.
Wonder if Taylor's flashing now, right on the bumper. Under 4 minutes left.
Oh boy, Phillips goes out wide. Still holds it inside though. Keep them side by side. Taylor was showing him the mirror. He was showing him that he was going to be in the inside, ducked back in the last second. That forced Phillips to second guess his line, and he went a little bit wider and gave Justin the inside line. Justin not all the way able to close it down. Especially, I wonder if these guys' tires have got to be toast by now. If they didn't change it before, they're definitely hurt now. As you see Taylor right up against the back of Phillips now.
This is where Taylor went wide last lap.
Yeah, these guys good friends in the Discord, so they're racing each other hard now. Jason able to hold a nice tight line there in the corkscrew.
It's such a good feeling when you hit the corkscrew just right.
We'll have to see if next lap we can get it on board with the driver on to show the real difficulty from the helmet cam. It is a blind trust that A, you're going to hit the exact line right, and B, there's no car that's sitting there sideways, because you cannot see going down that. I promise you that, especially when you get the big hood of the Mercedes in front of you. It is near impossible to see that thing.
I know there's a line of sight. There's a couple of trees you can use as reference points too that have been there for the life of the track.
Oh no, Josh Blum retired from the race.
Oh, Josh.
Last week's race winner out of the race for the overall winner, and the pro series leader is going to take a DNF for the night. That's going to
the point standings just got flipped upside down.
Big time.
Race number 2.
Now we're Jason Phillips. Well, I wonder if we can get the onboard cam from the helmet here. If we have one, there we go. So you're going to see this is a little bit higher than what we would normally see. We sit a little bit lower than this, but you can see just how much harder it is to get this turned right. You got to hit the marker there, look for your tree. Right. Nothing. You got to hope you're seeing the line right. Down to first gear and everything. There was one time here they had a week with the GR86, and I think I ran about 15 races on this track because I love this track. And those Toyotas are really nice to handle. Everybody's equal there, but these guys are much faster cars. Jason Phillips has a much bigger front end than those little Toyotas do, so props to him being able to run this car as hard as it is. We come down to the last minute now, so we might get one more lap.
Where's Travis Rowe in relation to the finish?
Oh no!
I think this is going to be it. This could be the white flag lap. So Travis Rowe. Let me see if I can find any fun facts about Travis.
Here's a fun fact. He's almost
I'm,
9 seconds up on Brian Coxon. That's a fun fact.
I'm sure that's exactly what Travis wants to hear from Lynchburg, Virginia. Says he might as well be married. He's got a couple of dogs, Bo and Cooper, cheering him on as he goes through the corkscrew one final time, going around Taylor Montague. And the class of the GT4 field today, it has been all Travis Rowe going through the final 2 corners now. Only one more left. Travis Rowe in the Porsche, number 76.
Checkered flag is out. Sign the dotted line. Put your name here. Travis Rowe. Pro race winner, overall race winner. Brian Coxon getting P2. Having his good follow-up of the race. Coxon got a fifth place last week. Or, sorry, he got a 4th place sixth place, I'm sorry. 6th place last week, so given the way the points got flipped around, he might be inheriting the overall win. Or overall lead, I should say. There's Justin Glickner, amateurs.
Your amateur winner, Justin Glickner, in the white Porsche, coming across the line with the red wheels, flashing his lights.
Oh,
That's
he feels good
great
about
result.
that one. He's been hurting for one, and that's definitely gonna feel good for him. He's gonna love. We're gonna have a good interview with him. I know it. I know that much.
Oh, this race to the line. I believe that's Ishmael Dubal. Oh, side by side, just barely beats out Ian Bakaitis. That's the race for 13th overall. 3rd in class for Ian Bakaitis. Could have got a couple more points. And look at that, Steve Hansel does end up 15th. Wonder if we can send Travis Rowe a DM. Maybe. As well as Justin Glickner. Although I do see Justin Glickner. Aaron, you with me?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, I'm going to go see if I can grab Glickner. There's Travis Rowe.
What a race we had tonight. We've got a big, huge turnaround in the overall standings with last week's race winner not able to finish the race tonight. But tell you what, who was able to finish the race? You got the 21 here, Justin Glickner, making my paint job look proud. Justin, how you doing tonight?
Doing good. How about you guys? Seemed like that was an interesting race to call.
Oh my gosh, there was a train of cars for a solid 10 laps or so, but you held off the rest of the pack. You were best in the amateurs tonight. You got a 9th place overall. That's a good start because there's a heck of a lot of cars here. I believe we had 33 tonight, so 9th place is not a bad position to be in.
Yeah, it was a good one. I wish I was still in amateurs though.
Oh, you're not amateurs. Okay, I'm sorry. That must just be wrong on
No,
the thing. Okay, then
yeah,
I'm
it'd be
sorry.
nice, but no, I was happy with it. I wasn't expecting to do that well. It's tough track, and the track temperatures during practice it was all over the place. So.
Hey, Justin, great run, man. What do you like about Laguna Seca, and were the conditions different today? And also, Laguna Seca, and what do you think about a 33 car field? You've been in Midwest Motorsports for a couple of seasons now. What do you think about 33 cars in the GT4 on a Tuesday night?
It's awesome to have. I know we've when we first started with TCRs, I think we had 7 or 8 cars. So to see anything over 20 is awesome. But I think we had close to 40 signed up for the race, so it's awesome.
Well, you're a big part of it, man. We appreciate what you do, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Road Atlanta. Any ideas of what we're going to see on our first hour and 40-minute enduro race?
I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be a interesting strategy race.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again for making Midwest Motorsports what it is. I'll send you back up to Race Chatter. Great run from Laguna Seca. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, well, there's the final results. Travis Rowe, that's what they call old-fashioned beatdown, flag to flag, In the pit stop, Brian Coxon, Laptop Power, finishes second. Max Brandval rounds out the podium. Michael Odell, Jelly Belly O'Delly, P4. Jason Phillips, he's probably going to be satisfied with the P5. Justin Taylor's probably going to kick himself a little bit for what could have been, but still a nice top 10 run just outside of the top 5. Dave Stark, Jesse Coffey, Justin Glickner, and Niles Keela round out the top 10. John Daniels 11th. Everybody else you can see on the screen. Dustin Reinsettle, P18. Behind Steve Hansel, P15. I don't know, Aaron, can you tell if Steve stopped twice or just once?
I closed it out. I closed it out already. I think he only stopped once.
All right. Well, what do you think we're going to see next week at Road Atlanta? Congratulations to everybody that raced today. Aaron, what do you think we're going to see next week?
We're going to see a nice long race, and so if this has anything to do with it, this is a purpose-made track, Road Atlanta. Not a purpose-made track; it's a street circuit, so it'll be really interesting to see a street circuit for an enduro race. These guys are going to have to watch out for track bumps that may not be seen by the eye, but they're going to be felt for sure.
At Road Atlanta?
Oh wait, it's Road Atlanta. I'm sorry.
You might be talking about a different track.
Yep,
Road Atlanta is the one with the S's and a long straight. You're going to love it.
Okay,
Aaron,
I'm taking the wrong track.
It's okay. It's all good, man. We'll make sure to have the track map up for you next week, just in case you get lost.
Yes, sir.
But that'll be your homework for next week, man. Grab a GT4 and do a couple of laps in your GT4 series at Road Atlanta, and maybe we'll do a track touring with you.
Right on. Sounds good then.
All right, man. Appreciate you helping me out tonight. The door's always open. You're welcome. You're part of the crew. For Adam Sondag down in the truck, Josh Watt working the broadcast, I'm James J. reminding you to stay in your lane. We'll see you Friday for some more trucks, and see you next week for our first GT4 endurance race from Road Atlanta, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. See you next week.
Choo-choo.